Hello and welcome to the first video for the Boilerplate project for VBA from Vitush Academy. So really with quick words, what is VBA Boilerplate? Pretty much these are all the useful functions that I have pretty much found or used through the years of VBA programming, and I have added them to one Excel binary file which is downloadable through GitHub. So you can always find it. Pretty much the official website of the Boilerplate project is my website, vitushacademy/boilerplate, and you can take a good look of up to now the contents of the boilerplate. So if you open the Excel file with the boilerplate, this is what you would get, this one. And today I'll show you, pretty much I'll run you around the ExcelAdditional module, what are the subs and the functions there, and how do they work. So the first one is the freeze row. It works like this. You simply call it, and as you see, it took B5 as an optional cell address, and it throws B5 here to the left and to the right exactly. So this is what it did. The same is for unfreeze row. It also takes the worksheet name as a standard one. So in our case, we only have two worksheets, the settings and the input. So whenever we click unfreeze row, it is unfrozen. Then we have the next one, which is sum array, and this is what it does. Let's say we have an array of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 100. The sum of this array is 110. If we want to leave the last position unsummed, we say, okay, do not calculate the last sum, and this is how we get a 10. So change commas, this is something really strange for the people who do not work in Germany but in England, or working with US version of Excel. So pretty much you do not need this one, but if you work in a German Excel or other type of Excel which uses comma as a decimal separator, then you need this. I can show you what is the idea. Pretty much whenever you have like something like this and you need to change it, to parse it to double or to decimal or to something, this change comma becomes really useful. Okay, now bubble sort. Okay, so let's say we have an array that looks like this, and then we have here, okay, we have here, let's say 5, and here we have 860. So, and B would be equal to bubble sort A, pretty much. Now Shift F9. Okay, B. Okay, it's not visible in the outlook, but we can really easily see that the first position of B is -200 because this is the first one when these are sorted. Then the next one is -100, and yeah, let's see the last one, upper bound B, 60. 60 is the highest one, as you see. So this is what bubble sort does. The next one that we have is just a function saying whether an array is allocated or not. That's rather good. We can have two new arrays here. A and B. So whenever we ask is array allocated and we put A, the answer is true. This is in German val. I'm using German Excel. And whenever we ask for the B, we see that it's false. Also, the array is not allocated. The next one is here checking whether a range is 0 or empty. Pretty much it's rather easy, unless you don't have to realize for the whole range. For example, let's say from A1 to B10, whether it is empty or not. We can simply say table input range A1 B10, is it 0 or empty? Of course it is 0 or empty, and if we write something somewhere, let's say here, And we make the same check, we see false. Yeah. Make random is the next function that we have in our boilerplate. Make random, okay, so pretty much, let's say something between 33, 32 and 35. 34, 34, 34. Okay, 33, and if we wait a bit, we will also get 35 one day. This function is actually the same as worksheet function ran between 32, 35, but it also works outside Excel, so we can make a random in Access using this function if you want to. So is range hidden? For example, we can say range A5. A5 is not hidden, and if we hide it, it will say true. Yeah, this is how it works. Checking whether the range is hidden or not hidden. The next one is column number to letter. This is what this was. For example, if we put 26, it would give us Z. If we put 27, it would give us AA. This is how it works. Pretty much rather really easy one. Okay, is value in array is another one that we are probably needing. Let's say the value is 10 and the array looks like this. Array 1, 12, 15, 11. So 10 is not there, but we can also put, if we change it, 10 is there. What else I have implemented in this function, because as you see there is like some kind of an optional variable here, is value string boolean false. What does it mean? Does it mean that we can check right here I am string and add I am string here? No, that's not the idea. I mean, if our array is also kind of mixed, containing both numbers and strings, it works. The idea of this value string is a bit different, as you see here. The idea is the following. Let's say it's something that I call fake array, something like this. For example, my name is Vitos, and like this. So our array consists of 2 positions, and they are split with this symbol here. And for example, I'm trying to look for Vitos inside, and here of course I put true, and it would give me true, that it found Vitos. If I give Vitos 5 here, true, it won't find it, but if I add it here with columns, it works. In the boilerplate, I am using this in the constants and public. Here in the admins, pretty much I can write like this. Admins using our public constants, and I can say I'm giving environ username, checking whether it is there, and it says true. For those who don't know what is environ username, this is the way to check. It is my username here, and my username is defined in the admins constant. Control Shift F2 to return to the position where we were. Not now. Okay. The next one is RGB to HTML color. And here we can put 255 for red and 00 for green and blue, and it gives us FF0000, pretty much the HTML color. Of course, if we put here 0 and here we put 128, we will get this one. 80 is the 128 representation, and 255 will give us FF in the middle. Just really quickly explaining everything. I mean, if you need it, you would know that you need it, and you'll probably read it here. Named range exists, pretty much. This checks whether named range exists. my named range. Does it exist? No. But now what we can do is pretty much define it quickly here. My named range. It exists now. Yes. So checking again. Name range exists. My named range exists. Yes, that's it. The next function in the ExcelAdditional is getRGB. So getRGB, and we simply put 255 to 255. We will get the red is 255, the green is nothing, the blue is nothing. What would happen with 256? Okay, that means that the green is 1, and yeah, we can put like 1000 or 10,000 or 1000 and check stuff. Copy values, pretty much what is copy values doing? Let's use it copies the values of one range to the other. So these are the values in my named range. They would be like this: 1, 2, 3, and here they would be multiplied by 10 with a formula. Let me show you that you see the formula better. Like this. Yeah. So these values would be copied. Okay, here we'll get this one. They will be copied somewhere else. B3. They will be copied a few lines below. So we simply say, what was the name of the range? Named range, my named range. Copy values, my named range, and then the target would be my named range dot offset, let's say 10 lines below and 0 columns. This is it. They are copied exactly 10 lines below, and as you see, they are copied as values with the dot resize. Okay, the last two methods are onEnd and onStart. Pretty much these are auxiliary methods that I usually use on the start and the end of some procedures that are lasting long. Pretty much on start I always set the screen updating to false, enabling events to false, ask to adapt to update link false, and display alerts false. Furthermore, 4 things that never change, just to make sure that my Excel works the way I want it to. Active window view is the same for onStart and onEnd Excel normal view. Application status bar is false because I don't want anything at the beginning and at the end of the function. Calculation is always set to Excel automatic because I do not like the manual calculation because it can cause a lot of problems. And the workbook.date 1904 is always set to false because this is the way I do it. In the onEnd, the first 4 are reset, so pretty much the screen updating is to true, enabling events is true, ask to update links is true, and display alerts is true. So far so good with the ExcelAdditional module. Now let's go to the ExcelDates pretty much. Let's delete a bit our stuff here and show what we get. Okay, get last day of the month. So today is the 20th of December 2019. So if I ask for the last day of the month, get last day of the month date, it would give me the 31st of December. Great. First day of the month is pretty much the same, giving me the first day of the month. 1st of December. Add months. For example, let's say 3 months would give me 31st of March. The point is that this add months, it always gives me also the last day of the month. So this is how I have made this function to work. It doesn't matter like to return you the 29th of March. So add months and get first date. for example, date today, and let's say it's 3 months, and it would give us the 1st of March. Yeah, and the next one is date difference in months. Let's say 11/11/2019 and 12/12/2019. And tippen unverträglich is my favorite one because it's expecting dates, so it should conform to date. Yeah, and let's hope that it will. Okay, date difference in months. It expects date. No, it expects date and date. Okay. Yes, and we get a difference of 1 month exactly. The trick here is that it's taking also the American system, which always takes the like this. It's not the European system that you're probably used to. I don't know, depending whether you're from Europe or America. This is the month and this is the day. So if you put here the 31st, the 30th, and the 30th, it'll still give you 1. Yeah. Or you can put here, let's say, the 1st, and it would now give you 11 months because this is January and this is December. But still, like it's the day difference in months is here. January is already started, December is not ended, so it's 11 months. So Excel format cells, the next one. Format cell is a date. Pretty much, let's say we write here selection equals now, and how it looks like. Okay, so we'll say format is date, and here we would say table input range A1. Yes, now it looks like this. This is our standard date format in this case. Format is %, table input dot range A1. I'm just curious how it would format it as the person, but let's see. Yeah, it formatted as a person quite nicely. Well, in general, we can also say, let's say 100 divided by 200. Well, something like this. And if we put here after comma equals 3, these are the two options. Okay, it would still get 2, but okay, divided by something like this. That's rather strange. After comma equals 3 like this, yes. Yeah, and now I got what was the idea. It was ignoring it because of this thing here. Yeah, after comma equals 3, and after the comma, or in this case the point, we have 3 decimals. Okay, format as currency, the same, table input dot range A1. And let's see what would happen. It looks like currency, the dollar is my default currency. I can also say change 0 false or change 0 true. Make gray true. Okay, make gray false. Format as currency, yes. And at the end I can say make round can be also true. The idea of make round is equals 20 divided by 999. That's rather interesting. 9. Okay. Just checking here. Like this, and here, because I said make round true, it simply cut everything like they did twos after, so it worked quite okay. Format as euro per meter squared, pretty much. It simply changes the format to like this, 2.22 euro per meter squared. Format red and bold. Yes, it's red and it's bold now. White rows, pretty much we can say lines. Let's say row 2, no, row 1, and worksheet would be table input, and yeah, it whited out everything, but the thing is still here. So if we say what is the value in this, the value stays, it's just wiped out. And also we can ask for the formula, for example. Asking is done with a question mark, okay, and this is it. White rows, white cell pretty much does the same with white rows, but it does it only for one cell. And this is this one, okay, let's demonstrate on another one. Let's say B2. So B2 should be whited out, and it is whited out, okay. Again, just restarting everything. B2 whited out, B2 is whited out, but the value is here. Yeah. Continuing with the next one after white cell. The last one is format font color to gray. Format font color to gray, let's say here. Let's say A2, and it looks a bit gray and nice. So pretty much this is all about the format cell. The next one for this video would be ExcelLastThings. Pretty much it says, gives some information about the last things in Excel. And by last things I mean ranges and columns and rows. So let's start with the last row, last column. Last column in the table input, I'm putting table input.name because the parameter is a string. And I'm saying that I want to check the first row, so it is optional default value of 1. So whenever I ask, hey, what is the last column of the first row, it would tell me column 4, this one. Great. The same is with last row, table input name, and of course in this case it also says column to check is long 1, it takes the one of A. So if I put nothing, it gives 1, this one, and if I put, let's say, a few up to 24, it gives 24. Great. Last used column on table input dot name, it is column 4, and let's make it a bit more interesting. Let's put something like here. Copy. Just copy. Okay, Control C doesn't work for some kind of strange reason, and I know the reason actually. and here we put paste. Okay, paste. Great. So last used column will be now the 5th one. What about the last used row? Table input name is row 36, this one. Great. Locate value row. Okay, locate value row is something more technical. Pretty much imagine that you have something like this. A, here you have B, C, here you have B, 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 and then here you have C. So let me see what I can remember why exactly I have done this. So text target X string, it would be A, and target as worksheet, it would be table input. Okay, table input is like this. So locate value row. Okay, and it located the first one, as you see, A. So if it wasn't A here, it was B. It's located number 4. And the trick here is that we have a lot of parameters which are default. For example, more values found as long is an interesting one. Okay, let's say we already found 2 and we want the 3rd one, and the 3rd one is actually the one here. What else do we have? Look for part is false. Okay, you can only look for part, and also we can do the following. We can say look from the bottom, look up to bottom, false. And of course lookup for bottom should be like this, and it's the 8th one. Let's see. Lookup to bottom is something that, okay, yeah, okay, lookup to bottom false. Lookup to bottom is something that I have to check a bit. So lookup to bottom gives us pretty much the last value. As you see here, it is the 8th one, and if we say it is true, it would give us the first found. It would be this one, pretty much. Yeah, number 4 and number 8. So this is why these are present. Look for part is also one of the options. False. Okay, we can see also true. If look for part is true, we can say AA here and AA here, and we are looking for A. It would say correct, we found it. And if we say we only don't want to look for part, but we want to look for the whole one, it should give us a minus 999, which in this case I'm using as a placeholder for something that is wrong. Locate value call works absolutely the same way, but it doesn't go through the rows, it looks through the columns. Absolutely the same idea. And increment and decrement, as you see, like our auxiliary functions, what they do is, for example, A equals 1, increment A, increment A, increment A, and now A works like 4. We can also decrement A. And when we say, hey, how much is A? A is 3, and after we decrement it, it's 2. It's actually used in order to, instead of writing A++, we write, or A minus minus, I am writing decrement value found, because it works better. I mean, as far as VBA doesn't have A minus minus, I have to write A equals A minus 1, which is, yeah, okay. I mean, I like more this thing. So later I'll take a look at the Excel print to Notepad, which actually prints information to Notepad, the Excel structure, which makes changes in the Excel structure, the Excel VBA, which is really interesting here. This is really actually something that I really like. It produces information about the Visual Basic Editor, for example, print all code, just prints all the code in a specific component. Form example is really an interesting example of the form. Pretty much how do we write a good form. Form summary presenter. Yeah, it's part of the form example. Form example, this is the form, and the form info is here. Table input, it's one interesting part. Table settings, okay, it's empty. TDD main, this is the test-driven development framework. I can just simply run it for you to see how it works. And I'll explain later what is it and why is it like this. I mean, you see 11 out of 11 tests have passed. The tests are written here. These classes, spec definition, spec expectation, inline runner, they are specific classes for the test-driven development, and the spec suite, so 4 classes just to make this test working and running. And versions isn't about our credits and versions. So the version from today is this one. So pretty much thank you for watching my YouTube channel, and if you have any questions, please write in the comments or subscribe and search in Google. Have fun and thank you. Bye.